Welcome to Fastang 444. I really need your help. I'm trying to grow my channel, so please subscribe and help me get to 1,000 subscribers. I am at a location, I call this Up the Hill. This is east of Guanajuato, north of the road configuration, the Eagle's Head. And if I'm angled just right, I could see a drop between the tiles when the game starts. Hear one behind me. I don't hear one behind me. And I wasn't angled just enough right to see that drop that is over there on the right. You can see the top of it just barely. I didn't notice that, so I just stayed here. I was hoping a drop would spawn after the game started, because sometimes that happens even though you don't see or hear a drop. I'm not sure what happened here. It said my controller disconnected, so I just clicked OK and everything appeared to be fine. I do see a drop in front of me, so I am hoping it is a high level. I have found an AMG-1 up here at the beginning of the game. It's a Diverty F-150, level 5. I'm okay with that. This is a good start, a mid-level drop. So let's go down the hill, and here, oh, there's a car right next to me. Let's get into a head-to-head with them. Sean X Hardy, I've seen them in this game before. I think they are actually a skilled player, and because I jumped and spun out, they have the lead. It's a good thing I opened up the map. I don't remember ever seeing this finish point in the city Guanajuato, but it may very well be that it's dependent on where the final arena will be, where the head-to-head starts, and I've never had those two combinations in the same game before. So off into the city, I'm double checking, opening up the map. They're in the city, but you can see all the twisting, winding roads that they are going to have to go through to get to this finish point. I am just going to follow the suggested route, and I like my chances. Look how much farther ahead of them I am. Should not have a problem beating them here. Make sure I get this turn in. They caught up a little bit, but finishes just around the bend here. Left turn, then a right turn over to the finish. Looks like they just conceded the loss. May have parked back there. Thought they may have quit the game, but it shows their gamer tag, so they didn't do that. They saw it out. And alright, an Audi RS7, which is more of a level 9 top speed vehicle. I can see I am right on the perimeter of the next arena, so I had thoughts of going into the edge of Guanajuato, possibly finding a high level drop, but I did not see any drops, so I will take this road on the right that leads to the Bat's Head. You can see why I would call it that. The roads are configured in the shape of a bat's head. I thought for a moment about pausing there at the neck of the bat's head, waiting for the arena to shrink, but I decided against it, and sticking with my strategy of once I find a mid-level drop, engage in head-to-heads. These are critical minutes that I can use to level up, whereas if I waited for the arena to shrink, hoping I find a high-level drop, if I don't find a high-level drop, I've wasted those critical minutes. It takes roughly 5 minutes from the beginning of the game to the first arena to shrink. That's the largest portion of the game for one arena in a 16-minute game. And here is a level 6 exoset that I engaged in a head-to-head with. There was a long delay there, but success. And I'll pause this. You see where the finish is at? It is west of the gap. So I know to follow this road on the base of the mountain, and once I get to that gap, I can start angling up to the finish. And watch them. They take a jump, straight line into the air, and off they go. That was so funny. And here's another one. Watch this. This is like a comedy of errors with these people jumping off of these ridges into the air. Maybe they're unaware of the terrain. Fortunately, I am aware of that, so I can see the gap. Now on the right, I know to angle over towards the gap, and I actually found there is this line of trees here around the middle of this hill you go up. If you go just to the right of these and slow down so you don't go flying into the air off of this bump, get up smoothly up the side of the mountain here. Angle over to the right. There actually is a steep drop off to the left. Once you get up here, this is a barn find barn here, right there, and regular gameplay. And there's this trail here. You see how steep it is off to the left there? If you get off on that steep portion there, you're going to have a difficult time getting to this finish point. So I'm going to turn down over towards this other gap that goes down the side of the mountain. It looks like a car was snooping around trying to snipe people completing head-to-heads there. So I will roughly follow along this line. You can see this leads to the ravine down the side of the mountain. And when I open up the map, you see how far to the north the arena wall is? My past experience tells me it will be Final Arena 18. So knowing that, and knowing that the Ferrari has a difficult time getting up the mountain, in the steeper portions, the only portion of the mountain I know I can get up is on the southeast incline of the mountain. So I'm just going to follow along this ravine. After the arena shrinks, possibly find a higher level drop. If not, make my way over to that portion of the mountain that goes up the southeast side, kind of in line of the switchbacks, and then in between some rocks. There are a few vehicles that have a difficult time getting up the mountain. This is one of them. I think the Camaro is another one. Some of the lower level vehicles as well, but at this stage of the game, you would hope that you are in at least a mid-level vehicle. It shrinks, and I don't see any drops behind me where potentially there could have been drops, so I will head over towards Horizon, Mexico. You can see the second to last arena wall now, and it is showing what I anticipated, Arena 18 of the mountain. And there are, I was going to say 15 drivers left. It went right to 14 right when I was going to say that. So they are all most likely up the mountain, engaging in head-to-heads. Although there's a level 6 Chola late in the game. Here's a drop here. Let's take a peek at this. What is this? All right, great. I won't have any problem getting up the mountain in this. A Hoonigan Focus RS RX could not have gone any better. So let's start heading over towards the next arena and hopefully catch someone along the way to engage in a head-to-head with. And here is a vehicle right in my line. They try evading me, but I get them. They are in a level 4 BMW. They quite possibly were being chased there. And you can see how steep it is over there on the left. Even though I shouldn't have a problem going up the steeper portion, I will kind of angle northeast, and once I get up to this point, then I will start going north up the mountain. I can now see the switchbacks. There's a gap between the rocks up here I'm trying to shoot for. There's some rocks there on the left, and it's clear just to the right of them, so perfect. On this road for a short section. Angle over to this finish. And whatever level 10 I get into will be the level 10 I will use in the final showdown. I don't see the need to get into any more head-to-heads. I did notice a vehicle that was off to the right there that just leveled up. So I'm going to take this Hoonigan RS 200. Perfect going down the mountain in this final showdown. Head away from that finish point. And take a peek at these drops over here. Run into some boulders. Alright. Someone just gets into a Mercedes AMG 1. I recognize the gamer tag. I actually beat them going down the mountain. They immediately after the game contacted me via the Xbox app chat, calling me a coward. And it wound up being I was at the end of the road. I nicknamed Vulcan Road in the previous video I mentioned. And they were parked right near the finish, just picking people off. So I asked them, was that you that was parked near the finish? And if so, do you consider that a brave tactic? And then they recanted and realized their logic in calling me a coward when they were using such a tactic, and said that is an acceptable strategy, and suggested I look at someone's YouTube channel to learn how to win the games, which I thought was comical. I just beat them in the final showdown and thought, well, you may be good at winning head-to-heads, but not so good at winning the final showdown. So, all right, let's stop looking at this beautiful view that I had up there. I think that's actually the most beautiful view, or one of the most beautiful views in the game, looking down at the water and the volcano there from above. The arena is shrinking, so I will get in position now for the final showdown. And I will put a link that will be on the top right, that game that I mentioned where I beat little Sergey. Onto this game. Right next to these boulders, just to the right of them, is the point I like to lead from.
Head-to-heads complete. Get ready for the final showdown.
You can see on the map this point that I like to leave from. This is Arena 18. The range of time to leave is 13 to 14 seconds. I will leave at 14 seconds, going down the gap down the side of the mountain. found watching the countdown right when it goes from 15 to 14, leaving right in that second, I can time my exit to near perfection, which I do here. When I see this finish point, I know to go on the east side of the festival site, Horizon Mexico Festival site, and look at here, little Sergey in the AMG 1 passes me. So let's see who is more skilled in the routes that they take. So I know to angle farther to the left. There is a ridge between the festival site and Muleg, just north of the highway. I want to go around that ridge, and it's off to the right now, so now I can angle over to the right. And at this exact moment, I know exactly where this finish is. I know to go between Muleg Hills. Sergey makes a critical error going all the way to the east around all of the hills. Now I just need to get in between these two hills over to this finish, and the finish is right in front of me. I go from second to first, and I will slow this down. Watch this. I jump almost right onto the finish here that's on the switchback, right as little Sergey comes flying in. Little too late. Maybe you should watch my videos, Sergey, and learn how to play the game.
Congratulations! You are the Eliminator!
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video along with all of my videos. And if you've been enjoying my content, subscribe. Please help me get to 1,000 subscribers.